Hello and welcome to this month's edition of RTV's From the Desk Of. I'm Tim Moody. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Randolph County School System, and I'm here with our Superintendent, Dr. Stephen Gainey. And once again, we appreciate the opportunity to get out in front of our community and share with you some of the things that are going on in the Randolph County School System. And Dr. Gainey, we're coming down the home stretch. Graduation is just a few weeks away, and so it's only natural as we get to this point of the year to kind of look back on where we've come from. And it's also a time of the year in which there are a number of awards and year-end recognitions. We had those this past Monday night here at Central Office. Can you share a little bit about that event?
Yes, Tim. We started Monday night's meeting at 5:30, and we had an employee recognition ceremony, and it was for a certified employee and a classified employee for every school that was recognized by the board and for their outstanding performance. And then we also had some special awards such as Bus Driver of the Year Award, there was a Media Specialist of the Year Award, Counselor of the Year Award. So it was just an exciting time. That went on for about 45 minutes, and staff members were there with their principals and other colleagues and with family members. And then, we went into our board meeting Monday night, and, the board meeting got started, and I think we probably spent a good hour recognizing students in the board meeting, which was another exciting time. So basically from 5:30 to about 7:30, it was recognition of staff and students. And I think that's a good way to close out a school year. Here we are in May, and it's school year is about done, but recognizing people's great efforts, I think anytime you can set aside time to do that, it's worthwhile.
So then after a time of awards and recognitions on Monday evening, we then proceeded into the time of business. And I know one of the significant things to come out of the school board session was administrative appointments, a number of those. So could you update us on those?
Yes, Tim, we did name 4 principals on Monday night. The current Uwharrie Middle principal, Todd Bean, he's been there since July 1 of 2013. He is going to start July 1 of this year at Archdale Trinity Middle School as the principal. Jeff Moss, who's been the Seagrove Elementary principal for this year and last school year, is going to start July 1 at Uwharrie Middle as their principal. We also named Brian Hodgen to be the new principal at Braxton Craven School starting July 1. He's been an assistant principal up until now at Wheatmore High School. And then Todd Henderson was named as the principal of Trindale Elementary starting July 1. He, this year, has been the assistant principal split between Trindale Elementary and Trinity Elementary. So very excited about all 4 principal appointments. And then we named a new middle school director. Lee Jones is coming to us from Rockingham County. She's an experienced middle school principal and high school principal and central office leader. So very excited about her taking on that role. That role was vacant because Amy Walker, July 1, will be moving to be the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources. Amy has been our middle school director for the past 2 years. So very excited about adding those 5 changes. The only new person from outside the system is Lee Jones, but just excited about these 5 changes and the appointments we were making on Monday night.
Okay. There was also some very exciting news in regard to a grant that our school system will be sharing. I think it's a $1.6 million grant we're going to be sharing with some other school districts. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Tim, May 7th was a pretty exciting day for our school system for training for staff. On May 7th, we learned that our proposal for a grant to be in partnership with Mount Airy City Schools, Alamance Burlington Schools, Lexington City Schools, and Davidson County Schools. We're the 5th school system in that mix. We're going to partner with them along with the University of Texas at Dallas and Wake Forest University on a professional development grant aimed at providing math professional development for middle grades and elementary grades teachers. In the end, the grant's worth $1.6 million. It'll be a 3-year grant. The first year we're going to focus on middle grades teachers. The second and third year will be focused on elementary grades teachers. And 240 teachers in all will be given this special professional development training focused on math instruction. So that's exciting. And also on May 7th, we received that news And that grant with the $1.6 million grant for middle school and elementary, we did that in conjunction with the Piedmont Triad Education Consortium, of which the Randolph County School System is a member. They were involved in helping us apply for that grant. But on May 7th, we also had good news from the high school level. We received news that a high school grant called, and it's under Project LEAD. We've already been involved with that this year, professional development training for high school math teachers. We were awarded a second year of that grant with some other school systems that we partner with, and the value of that grant was $604,000. So May 7th was a big day because it addressed professional development in mathematics at all three levels of school. So that was very exciting. With funds tight and changes in the mathematics curriculums over the past years, any professional development we can get for our teachers in the area of mathematics is something that we need to pursue and we need to welcome when it comes our way.
Okay. And staying with the theme of awards and recognition, this evening is a very special event. Of course, by the time that this airs, our Teacher of the Year will be known, but as of right now, it's not. And that banquet, the Teacher of the Year banquet, will take place this evening. Our 5 finalists from our school system are Sherry Yaha of Braxton Craven School, Whitney Aiken of John Lawrence Elementary School, Casey Westmoreland of Northeastern Randolph Middle School, Erica Castillo of Ramseur Elementary School, and Elizabeth Ryan of Trindale Elementary School. So congratulations to those 5, as well as to the teachers of each of our 31 schools for their nominations. Again, these are the 5 finalists. But in anticipation of the event tonight, what are your thoughts about recognizing the Teacher of the Year?
Well, Tim, I think, I've said this publicly many times, and I'll always believe this. The most important job in America is the classroom teacher. That's where so many things for children's future starts, in the classroom with teachers, whether it be a kindergarten teacher or the 3rd grade teacher or the high school teacher. You cannot put a value, there's no way we can repay them for all classroom teachers do for kids across this country. So anytime you have an event like tonight's event, it's worth every minute we spend at that event, because it's still not enough as far as thanking teachers. And yes, there'll be, the Asheboro City School System is involved in this event because we partner with them on this event. So essentially there'll be a representative from every school who's been the Teacher of the Year nominee from every school. They'll be recognized, and then eventually we'll come down to one Teacher of the Year for the Asheboro City School System tonight and one Teacher of the Year for Randolph County School System. But I'll go back to, we can never spend enough time recognizing teachers and thanking them for what they do. And for the 31 from our system and the teachers from the Asheboro City System to be recognized tonight, there are hundreds of others in both systems that deserve recognition, because it's just anybody that thinks that our country's future doesn't depend on the quality of our classroom teachers, I think they're missing really what's going on in a big way, because these teachers just, what they do for kids every day, if you could just find a teacher one day and just shadow them for a day, and it's really a lesson about what really finding teachable moments as well as planning instruction is all about.
Dr. Gainey, we've already had one graduation service. That was yesterday with our Randolph Early College High School. Our 6 traditional high schools will have their graduation services coming up here on June the 9th. When you go to a graduation service and you just see the event unfold, you see the caps and gowns and the students walking across the stage, and I know you've been through many of them, what is that experience like for you? Well,
I think, I love all the different activities the kids are involved in throughout the year. I do miss that. I loved being a principal and so I miss that because I don't get to as many of those events as I did as a principal. But, graduation is kind of the top event for me. You get to see the kids have made it through grade 12, and you just see the anticipation on their face. You see the pride on their parents' faces and the pride on the staff members' faces. It's just almost like everything comes together. And I used to love, as a high school principal, one of my favorite moments was to be on the stage as the graduates came in and processed in, and you're sitting there, and I used to love to watch them when we all sat down. And it was almost like when they all sat in their seats, when they all got in, and I could look out at those kids who were so important to our school, I could see, my mind would start wondering about what are these kids going to be doing 10 years from now, because they're going to be doing some great things. And it's a fun event for me to see the pride on everybody's face that day. Communities come together. I hope we never take the spotlight off high school graduations. It needs to be there for many reasons, including, you watch these events, Tim, and the next thing you know, here comes an elementary teacher. And they've come up to find a graduate. And the graduate remembers the teacher just like it was yesterday they were in their class. And you see these relationships that have been built for years in these schools, and that's just exciting to me.
It seems like it was only last week that the buses were rolling from out here at the central office out to the schools to start the school year, and yet that was 9 months ago. And so it's only natural to reflect a little bit, look back. We've been through ice storms and a whole lot of other things over the course of the year, but when you reflect and you think about the 2014-2015 school year, what comes to mind?
Well, Tim, I'd have a question for you. Why does the year go so smoothly? Why has a year from August to May moved so quickly? And we've had, I think we have fun. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing children develop, staff develop. And when I think about how does this happen and why does it happen? It happens because so many people are involved for the right reason. The school year goes as smoothly as it does because we have tremendous school-based staff. And whether it be the teachers, classified staff, the principals, and then we have tremendous group of parents who are preparing their children for what they expect their children to do at school. And we have a surrounding community, and we have some of the best kids to walk in the doors of our schools. So it's been an exciting year. I'm really proud of our kids. In many ways, years start merging because when you get in a place where people care about what's going on in the schools, there's an expectation that you're going to have school every day. And if the negative comes up, the ice storm or anything negative, we're going to deal with it, but we're going to get back to school. And that's really what comes to my mind when I think about when you start talking about how's everything played out this year? What do you really cherish about it? I cherish the idea that we get to have school a lot of days. And when I say school, we get to do what we plan to do when the school bell rings in the morning. And that doesn't happen by mistake. It happens because I get the chance to work with great staff. I have some great staff members around me. I've been fortunate I came to a place I was new to back in July 2013. Some people like you have joined us. A lot of people were already here. And I think we've continued to work as a team. We've got a strong Board of Education that supports us. And, I don't know that there's a single highlight, Tim. I think the highlight to me of all this is we get to have school like it's planned most days in this school system. And that's what I always strive for as a principal. And I guess as a superintendent, I want to see it happen at 31 school sites. And because of the teachers and the principals and the staff at schools, and the support staff that in this building, I think it happens, and I feel good about it.
I suspect we have some folks in our community that really don't have an understanding of what happens in a school system during the summer. And of course, we have a number of school employees, as well as some here at Central Office, who do have a summer break, but that's certainly not the case for everyone. And so there is a lot of school business and school activity, so to speak, even during the summer. So could you just sort of share with our audience what the summer months comprise in a school district like ours?
Well, probably the biggest thing we watch in the summer and deal with in the summer is the budget. The legislature, it's either in short session or long session, depending on which summer it is. And until the budget comes out, we don't have final answers on that. Sometimes the budget comes out and it doesn't affect staffing. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it comes out and it doesn't affect programming. Sometimes it does. It just depends on the different parts of the budget when it's released. There's a lot of planning goes on. There's a lot of event planning. There's a lot of mapping out schedules, mapping out calendars. It's different at central office than it is at the school level. School level, they're scheduling students and their classes, making sure their resources are aligned for the numbers of students who are taking different classes and enrolling in different classes. So I'd say there's a huge planning effort that goes on in the summer, but then to say it all happens in the summer is not accurate either, because a lot of things start way up in the spring. We've dealt with teaching allotments or teacher allotments to the schools. They were released to the principals back in the beginning of April. Transportation staff's working on bus routes. Cafeteria staff's working on making their plans and their menus and everything for next year. We have human resources issues that we're dealing with, processing new hires. It's a kind of multifaceted summer, if you want to say. There's a lot that goes on, because the thing is, we have to be ready when the teachers and the kids come back in August.
So Dr. Gainey, do you have any final thoughts for us as we close out the school year?
I do, and I hope people understand and understand my perspective on this school system, this community. This is a special place, and this is, I'm in, I guess, month 23 now. I feel like I've been here forever, and that's a tribute to this community, a tribute to this school system and the people in this school system. But I would be wrong not to at least thank people for, again, the way that I've been allowed to adjust to this school system and meet people and interact with them and learn what they're about. And it's just a great place, and it's one of these places that, I don't have any way to say it other than I feel like it's a privilege, and it is a thrill to get up every morning to come to work in the school system. And I won't walk away from, I do believe the sky's the limit in the school system. We have great kids here, and we need to keep working to get better, continually improve, and we will.
Well, as we talked about, this is indeed our final interview for the official school year. But we will be back in front of you in June and July and throughout summer. But as we talked about, things continue to happen here in the school system, and we'll continue to share those things with you. Again, we thank Randolph Telephone for giving us the chance to do this, and we hope that each and every one of you have a great summer, and we will see you again soon. Thank you so much.